Welcome back, everyone, to Stoic Capsule, the place where timeless wisdom meets real-world strategy. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why some people rise to power and influence, while others, just as talented, remain invisible? Why do some move through life like grandmasters in a game of chess, while the rest of us are still figuring out the rules? It's not luck. It's not even raw talent. It's about understanding the invisible laws of human nature, the unspoken codes that nobody teaches you, yet everyone plays by. Those who see these laws clearly move silently, strike precisely, and never allow themselves to be controlled. Today, we're going to uncover 15 of the darkest, most strategic principles that genius minds use to outsmart the world. And let me be clear, this isn't about deception. It's about survival. It's about learning how to walk through life with clarity, precision, and strength. So, stay with me until the very end, because once you learn these laws, you'll never see the world the same way again. Let's begin. Law 15. Use absence to increase your worth. If you're always available, always visible, always within reach, you become ordinary. And tell me, when was the last time the world chased something it could easily have? The truth is, people don't value what is always present. They crave what feels just out of reach. That's the paradox of scarcity. Diamonds are not priceless because they change in nature, but because they are rare. The same principle applies to you. The Stoics remind us, detach from the constant need to be seen or affirmed. True influence isn't built in endless noise, it is built in deliberate distance. When you're always in front of others, your edge begins to dull. But when you step back, even briefly, curiosity takes root. Desire grows. Legends are not made by being everywhere. They are made by being missed. The powerful know this. They shape their presence like a rare event, anticipated, talked about, remembered. Your silence, your distance, even your temporary disappearance, these are not weaknesses. They are strategies. They create a space where your value multiplies. And when you return, you must not return the same. Return elevated, transformed, unforgettable. Master this law, and you'll never need to demand attention again. It will chase you. So step back. Let the world wonder, because in your absence, your power begins. Law 14. Weaponize trust strategically. Trust. It feels safe, doesn't it? But here's the harsh truth. Trust is the most dangerous currency in the game of power. Those closest to you are not always your strength. Often, they are your greatest vulnerability. This is why the truly cunning don't just protect trust, they weaponize it. The Stoics warned us against illusions, and blind loyalty is one of the deadliest illusions of all. History is full of examples where empires fell not by open enemies, but by the hands of those who first earned unshakable trust. Think of it. When someone believes you are their reflection, their confidant, their safe harbor, they lower their guard. They speak freely. They expose themselves. And if you mirror their language, echo their values, adopt their mindset, they will trust you completely, sometimes fatally. But remember this: trust is not a guarantee of safety. The very friend who knows your secrets may already be studying your weaknesses. In a world where knowledge equals control, the one who collects the most insight wins. So sharpen your awareness. Speak less, listen more. Because those who master trust do not merely protect it, they wield it as a weapon. Law 13. Align with self-interest, not sympathy. Here's a bitter truth. Don't expect help just because you're good, loyal, or deserving. People are not moved by your virtues, they are moved by their gain. Sympathy is fleeting, but self-interest? That is eternal. In the real world, mercy or gratitude alone won't open doors. Kindness without value rarely moves people. What does? Value. If you want someone to act, you must show them how your success serves their interest. Even Julius Caesar understood this truth. He didn't rise by begging for loyalty or pleading for affection. He rose by offering what others desired most: wealth, power, and status. He didn't ask men to follow him. He awakened their ambition. And when ambition was stirred, the empire itself bent to his will. The Stoics remind us, don't expect fairness from the world. See it as it is. And this world runs on incentives. There are only two kinds of people: those who sit and wait for help, and those who position themselves so well that help comes rushing toward them. Which one do you want to be? If you want your voice to be heard, make sure it carries opportunity in its echo. Show people that by supporting you, they also advance themselves. Not because you're manipulative, but because you're wise. Influence doesn't spring from emotion, it's born from alignment. So stop hoping to be understood. Start becoming useful. Because once others see their own victory tied to yours, you'll never need to ask twice. Law 12. Disarm with strategic kindness. The sharpest deceptions are often hidden inside kindness. Why? Because people rarely question those who seem generous. A gift lowers defenses faster than any weapon ever could. This is Law 12. Disarm with selective generosity. The most powerful minds don't reveal their strength through aggression, but through carefully measured acts of goodwill. When people believe you're on their side, they stop protecting themselves. Genghis Khan mastered this art. Instead of crushing every city he conquered, he offered gifts, honor, and protection. And soon, entire populations admired him, even worshipped him. But when resistance disappeared, he struck with brutal precision. That's the danger of trust. It blinds. The Stoics teach us not to assume virtue, but to observe it carefully. What looks like kindness may, in truth, be strategy. Those who wield honesty recklessly are often the first to be broken. The wise give only what is necessary, just enough to gain access, never more. Real power hides behind the mask of sincerity. The hand that offers kindness may very well be the same hand that holds the blade. Use generosity with precision, not sentiment. Because in a world built on perception, kindness itself can become the most strategic weapon. Law 11. Become irreplaceable, not just useful. Loyalty is rarely about love. More often, it's about need. People stay by your side not because they admire you, but because they cannot thrive without you. The moment they realize they can stand on their own, your importance fades. That is the brutal truth. This is Law 11. Keep others dependent on you, not through force or fear, but through quiet indispensability. True power isn't loud. It isn't flashy, it's structural. A wise king once asked his advisor, "Who is the most powerful man in the kingdom?" The advisor replied with a smile, "The one whose absence breaks the entire system. That man may never wear a crown, but without him, the empire crumbles." History remembers countless examples. In ancient Rome, a cunning minister secured his influence not by displaying everything he knew, but by withholding just enough. He gave the king knowledge in fragments, always keeping himself as the key to the full picture. But when the king, blinded by his own confidence, removed the minister, chaos followed. Systems collapsed, and only then did they understand the true cost of losing what they had taken for granted. The lesson is timeless. If you want to maintain power, never give it all away. Hold on to something only you can do, solve, or understand. That secret piece ensures your presence is never optional, but always essential. A camel in the desert is not valued for elegance, but for necessity. Its worth lies not in beauty, but in survival. In the same way, you must become the one thing others cannot move forward without. The Stoics taught self-reliance. Yes, but they also understood the wisdom of making yourself vital to the very fabric of any system you are part of. So ask yourself this: if you vanished tomorrow, would they adapt, or would everything fall apart? The answer reveals the true strength of your position. In a world quick to replace the merely useful and quick to forget the merely generous, your task is clear: make your absence feel like collapse. That is how you remain indispensable. Law 10. Protect your energy from the unstable. No matter how intelligent you are, how disciplined, how driven, if your environment is poisoned, your potential will wither. This is Law 10. Avoid the unlucky and the negative. The Stoics teach us to guard our inner world with responsibility, but they also warn us to be ruthless with the influences we allow into our lives. The truth is harsh. Some people are not neutral. They are corrosive. Their energy doesn't just fail to help you, it drains you. Their failures become your burdens. Their chaos seeps into your order until you can no longer tell what is yours and what belongs to them. There was once a man whose talent was unmatched, his mind sharp, his work ethic relentless. And yet, his life was collapsing. His finances crumbled, relationships soured, trust was broken again and again. He was not weak, but he was surrounded by weakness. Then clarity struck. He realized that every downfall was tied to someone in his circle: complainers, victims, people addicted to drama instead of discipline. So, he made the most courageous choice of all. He cut them off. Slowly, the noise faded. Within a year, his peace returned, his work thrived, his clarity sharpened. The lesson is eternal. The people you allow into your life are never neutral. They either elevate your vision, or they erode it. Misery is contagious. Failure is not just an event, it is a mindset, one that spreads like smoke. So protect your path like a fortress. A man who seeks greatness must guard not only his time, but his energy, his focus, and his circle. In the pursuit of power, kindness must never be mistaken for weakness. You cannot save those who refuse to change, but you can refuse to be pulled into their storm. And that single choice might be the very thing that saves your life. Law 9. Let action silence the noise. Never waste your breath trying to convince those committed to misunderstanding you. A fool will drag you into his chaos, pull you down to his level, and exhaust your peace. That is why true power does not raise its voice, it raises results. This is Law 9. Win through your actions, never through arguments. The Stoics remind us that inner control is greater than outward noise. Arguing is often proof that you still crave validation. But the powerful, they don't explain. They don't beg. They demonstrate. Their victories speak for them. If someone doubts your worth, don't debate, let your consistency, your discipline, and your results crush the doubt. Every second spent arguing is a second stolen from building. And every time you descend into conflict, you abandon the higher ground of clarity and purpose. Understand this. Those who truly command respect never scramble to prove themselves. They don't waste energy convincing others. They become undeniable, become impossible to ignore. Speak less, execute more. Let the world argue, speculate, and form opinions while you quietly build legacies. In a society obsessed with endless talking, you will become rare simply by choosing action. So don't react, rise. Don't defend, deliver. Don't explain, excel. Whether they admire you or despise you, let them watch from the sidelines as your life itself becomes the loudest response. Because in the end, the world may dispute your words, but it can never deny your results. Law 8. Draw people in without chasing. The one who chases quickly becomes forgettable, but the one who waits with intention, the one who positions himself with patience, that person becomes powerful. This is Law 8. Make others come to you. In the world of strategy, movement does not always equal progress. When you chase people, whether in business, in love, or in influence, you send a dangerous signal that they are the prize and you are the pursuer. But true power does not chase. True power attracts. It positions. It builds such undeniable value that others are drawn in, not out of obligation, but out of necessity. The Stoics understood this deeply. Control begins within, and from that center, all influence flows. So if you desire something from someone, don't beg, don't plead. Instead, create the conditions where they begin to crave what only you can provide. Use patience like a weapon. Let your absence echo louder than your presence. Think about it. Powerful people don't scatter their energy running after opportunities. They structure the game in their favor. Then they wait while others move toward them, but only on their terms. Even bait, when used with precision, is not manipulation, it is strategy. Turn their needs into your leverage. Transform your silence into gravity. And when people feel they need you to move forward, they will cross oceans just to stand in your presence. Respect is never earned by pursuit, it is earned by posture. So stop running, build, center yourself, hold the frame. Because in the end, you must make a choice. Will you live reacting to the movements of others? Or will you create a world where others must move around you? One path makes noise, the other commands the room. Which will you choose? Law 7. Lead the vision, own the outcome. Power does not reward effort, it rewards perception. And in a world that worships results, few ever stop to ask who truly did the work. This is Law 7. Take credit strategically. The Stoics taught us to act with intention, not illusion. But they also reminded us to see the world as it truly is, not as we wish it to be. And the truth is brutal. History remembers the name, not the hands behind it. The one who organizes, who directs, who claims the outcome, he is crowned the victor. The one who labors quietly, more often than not, forgotten. If you spend your entire life working tirelessly, yet fail to understand the game of influence, you will remain a pawn in someone else's story. Real power is not about doing everything yourself, it is about building a system where others contribute to your vision while you direct the narrative. The greatest leaders in history weren't always the ones who laid every brick, but they were always the ones who positioned themselves as the architect. Do not let false humility rob you of rightful recognition. Praise, influence, legacy, they do not simply follow effort. They follow visibility. This is not about stealing credit, it is about leading. When you inspire action, when you orchestrate movement, when you see the big picture while others are trapped in small tasks, you earn the right to stand in the spotlight. So ask yourself, are you building your own name, or are you merely helping someone else build theirs? In the game of power, hard work alone is never enough. It must be paired with strategy, with vision, with ownership. Effort is noble, but strategic credit is immortal. Do not only contribute in a way that ensures you are remembered. Law 6. Be so real they can't ignore you. In this world, obscurity is death. It doesn't matter how wise, how talented, or how skilled you are if the world does not see you. It forgets you. This is Law 6. Command attention or fade into irrelevance. Visibility is not vanity, it is survival. The Stoics taught us to place substance over appearance, but they never denied this truth. Society gravitates toward what it cannot ignore. If you want influence, if you want to shape the direction of events, you must learn how to enter people's minds and stay there. How do you do that? Not by screaming for attention, not by begging to be seen, but by embodying something so authentic, so powerful, so emotionally charged, that people cannot look away. It could be through love, through fear, even through hate, but the one thing you cannot afford is indifference. That is the real failure. Even enemies will keep your name alive if they cannot stop thinking about you. The greatest figures in history were not always loved, but they were remembered. Average people live quiet, unnoticed lives. But those who step into the spotlight, even for a moment, shape the crowd, bend the narrative, and direct the future. So you must ask yourself, will you let the world pass you by in silence, or will you grip its attention and never let go? Control perception, stir emotion, make people feel something every time your name is spoken. Because in the grand game of power, silence is not peace, it is erasure. And the ones who fade quietly are the ones buried deepest by history. So leave your mark or be forgotten. The choice is yours. Law 5. Let your comeback echo loudly. When life strikes you down, do not just get back up, rise in a way that makes the world flinch. This is Law 5. Let your comeback be so undeniable, so unshakable, that no one dares to challenge you again. The crowd remembers not the quiet struggles, but the storms, the moments of transformation so fierce that they shift the ground beneath everyone watching. If someone humiliates you, do not waste your breath on explanations or bitterness. Instead, rise so high, so fast, that their insult is buried in the shadow of your new self. The Stoics never chased approval, but they did understand this truth. Your image is the armor through which the world interacts with you. You must craft it with intent, control it with clarity. Either you command the room, or the room consumes you. And remember, this world does not pause to ask who you truly are, it only reacts to what you project. Fear and respect, these are the currencies of power. They are not handed to you. They are earned through presence. You don't need cruelty, but you must become formidable. The one who cannot be ignored becomes the one who shapes the narrative. So when you fall, and you will let that fall become your forge. Refuse to shrink. Refuse to explain. Become so elevated, so relentless, that even those who doubted you cannot help but respect your name. You can be remembered as the one who broke, or as the one who shook the ground when he stood again. The path is yours. Choose wisely. Law 4. Guard your words. Guard your power. Your greatest weapon can also be your greatest weakness, and that weapon is your tongue. This is Law 4. Control your words to maintain mystery. The more you speak, the more patterns you reveal. Every opinion, every plan, every emotion you share gives others a window into your inner workings. And once they see how you move, they can predict you, manipulate you, undermine you. You may believe you're being clever, showing off your knowledge, proving your confidence. But the wise know this. Mystery commands more respect than clarity ever will. The Stoics mastered this not out of fear, but out of discipline. They spoke with purpose, never noise. They revealed only what was necessary, and that restraint made their presence feel larger than life. In contrast, those who overshare become small. Their image collapses under the weight of their own openness. Have you ever felt that? That sinking regret of saying too much? Of realizing your transparency cost you more than it gained? If so, it is time to shift. Say less. Observe more. Let others wonder what you're thinking, what you're building, what you're becoming. In the realm of power, curiosity is currency, and mystery is protection. The quiet man is rarely underestimated because no one knows what he is capable of. So speak only when it strengthens your position. Until then, let your silence speak louder than any word could. Law 3. Conceal the path. Reveal the result. The greatest mistake in the pursuit of power is to reveal your intentions too soon. Once people know your goals, your desires, your next moves, they gain leverage. They can block you, outmaneuver you, or quietly dismantle everything you've worked for. This is Law 3. Hide your intentions. The Stoics taught that wisdom lies in restraint. Nowhere is this more vital than in strategy. The predictable man is vulnerable, but the one who moves silently, cloaked in misdirection, becomes untouchable. History remembers the cunning not for brute strength, but for their silence. The Rothschild banking dynasty built empires through secrecy, feeding the world distractions, while executing a plan no one could anticipate. Even modern giants like Warren Buffett embody this law, never revealing their full hand, letting others guess while he prepares the move that changes everything. When your intentions are hidden, your actions strike with double force because they are unexpected. Reveal only what strengthens your position. Keep your real aim buried beneath the illusion of what people think they understand. Mystery is not just a shield, it is power in its purest form. Once your moves are visible, they are controllable. And the moment that happens, you no longer own the game. You become a piece on someone else's board. So stay quiet. Stay patient. And when the time is right, let your silence deliver the blow no one saw coming. Law 2. Transform opposition into strength. In the game of power, trust is never given, it is calculated. Friends, over time, begin to feel entitled to your success. They expect rewards, recognition, and sometimes they even resent you for rising. But enemies? Their intentions are clear. There is no mask, no illusion. And when you turn them to your side, their loyalty often runs deeper because it is earned, not assumed. History speaks loudly. Napoleon was betrayed not by his rivals, but by those he trusted most. Julius Caesar did not fall to his enemies, he fell to Brutus, the friend he never doubted. The Stoic mind does not see people as friends or foes, it sees them as forces in a greater strategy. A complacent friend, blinded by envy or comfort, is dangerous. But a former enemy once understood, once redirected, can become the most loyal of allies. The wise do not seek to destroy every rival. They study them, redirect them, control them, because a reformed enemy, loyal by choice, is a sharper weapon than any ally born of convenience. Emotions have no place in this calculus. Influence belongs to the one who turns tension into loyalty, threat into opportunity. Law 1. Master yourself before you challenge power. No matter how brilliant you are, never make the mistake of shining brighter than those above you. This is Law 1. Never outshine the master. In every hierarchy, ego is the invisible thread holding power together. Break it even by accident, and you will be cut out without warning. History is filled with the names of those destroyed not because they were wrong, but because they were to right. Too soon. Galileo, Copernicus, visionaries silenced, not by failure, but by fear, the fear of those in power becoming irrelevant. Understand this. Power is not logical, it is emotional. The powerful fear obscurity more than defeat. That is why the wise master restraint. They conceal their brilliance until the moment is safe. They allow others to feel superior, even while pulling the strings from the shadows. True intelligence is not display, it is timing. You don't need to impress the master. You need to survive him. Protect his ego. Protect your position. And when the time is right, rise not in his shadow, but beyond his reach. Sometimes, real power isn't about shining. It's about knowing when to stay unseen until your presence can no longer be ignored. If this message resonates with you, if you are walking the path of silent power, subscribe and comment. Choose power to mark your moment. Stay steady. Stay unseen. Your quiet strength is building something unstoppable.